Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, it is so great to have you. I am Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany, and in this video today I am going to be sharing with you 5 German habits that I have picked up since living in Germany. And I know that quite a lot of other expat YouTubers have made similar types of videos, and I thought that I would jump on board and make my version of this video. I haven't actually watched any of these videos yet, so once I have finished filming, I'm going to watch a couple of the videos, and I think it's going to be really interesting to compare how many of the same German habits we've picked up, or if we've picked up any of the same German habits. So anyway guys, with that being said, let's get into this video. So in no particular order, one of the German habits that I have picked up since living in Germany is that I feel the need or the urge to correct somebody if they state a fact wrong. And this is something that is just so German. I never used to be like this before moving to Germany. So I have noticed that there is this correcting culture in Germany. So if somebody states a fact wrong in a conversation, then a German person will have absolutely no problem telling them that they have got that fact wrong and correcting them. Obviously not all Germans are like this, a lot of them are. Many Germans, they just have really good general knowledge. They like to research topics, and it kind of bugs them when somebody is talking about a subject and they just don't get the facts right. And so Germans, they feel the need to just correct them and just sort of tell them, no, that is wrong and this is right. And for people from other cultures, it may come across as quite direct and just maybe a little bit rude, a little bit insensitive, but for Germans, they feel like they're doing the right thing by correcting that person. So recently I have gotten into the habit of feeling the need to correct people when they make mistakes, and I don't really like this, but I can't help it. So the other day I was talking to a group of people, we were chatting about New Zealand and the fact that it's such a young country, and someone was like, yeah, New Zealand's a British colony, it was founded by Captain James Cook in 1769, and I was like, no, that's not right. New Zealand was a British colony and it was founded by Abel Tasman in 1642. And then straight after I said it, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm becoming German. That is such a German thing to say, to correct somebody when they have a fact wrong. So normally, like when I was living in New Zealand, I wouldn't have known these facts to start with, and even if I did know the facts, I probably wouldn't have corrected that person. I would have held back because I probably wouldn't have wanted to offend this person who I didn't know really well. I wouldn't have wanted the situation to be awkward, and I just wouldn't have wanted to seem cocky and like a know-it-all for correcting this person. So, you know, living in Germany, I hear people correcting each other all the time. People correct me, and it makes me feel like I need to correct other people. So I don't know whether it's a good thing, the fact that I feel I need to correct people, or a bad thing. I don't know, it's just a German habit that I have picked up since living in Germany. Okay guys, now moving on to another German habit that I have definitely picked up since living in Germany, and that is opening the windows every day to let the fresh air circulate through the house. This is such a German thing to do. And the thing is, some Germans are really pedantic about opening the windows every day and letting the fresh air circulate through your house. And then there's other Germans who don't like fresh air at all. They don't like a draft. They think it's going to make you sick. So there's those Germans, but there's also the other Germans who are obsessed with fresh air. They don't like it to be stuffy outside. Even if it's like minus 10 degrees and snowing outside, they will still open the window every day and let the fresh air come in. And I have become one of these people. I feel claustrophobic if I don't open my windows, even if it's freezing outside. I need to have this fresh air circulating in, or I just kind of feel like, I don't know. And I have become like this since living in Germany, and I don't know whether it is to do with the German heating. It's always very, very warm in the German homes. And so if you don't let some fresh air in, it can just get a little bit too stuffy. This is most definitely a German habit that I have picked up since living in Germany. I just need to air out my house every single day. Okay guys, so another German habit that I have picked up since living in Germany is wearing a backpack all the time. I love to wear a backpack. And this is such a German thing, because when I lived in New Zealand, I would never wear a backpack. The only time you would have caught me wearing a backpack would be when I was at school and I had to wear a backpack for school. And I would always be wearing this bag with this long strap, and it would always be like flapping around, getting in my way. And I was like, hey, I need a backpack because this is not working for me. For years, I would see Germans walking around wearing backpacks, and I kind of think to myself, oh, they look quite comfortable. Maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing wearing a backpack. and I never really sort of jumped on to the trend until recently, because these backpacks here, Fjällräven Kanken, I think they're called. I probably totally butchered that. It's a Swedish brand. But these backpacks have become so trendy in Germany. So many people are wearing them. It's basically just a trekking brand that Germans love, and I would see these all the time and people would style them in a really cool way. And so I was like, hey, I am not usually one to jump on with the trends, but I want to get one of these backpacks and give it a go and see what the big deal is about. So I started wearing a backpack, and oh my goodness, I thought, where the hell have you been all my life? It was a game changer. I had just so much more freedom. Everything was on my back, you know, I had my arms free, I didn't have anything flapping around. And you know, Germans, they love practicality, and wearing a backpack is something so practical. So another German habit that I have picked up since living here is always waiting for the light to turn green before crossing the road. And in New Zealand, I hardly ever waited for the light to turn green. If there were no cars coming, then I would just quickly cross the road. Even if I saw a car coming towards the crossing and I knew that I could get across that road in time, then I would do it. And I think a lot of other New Zealanders would do it too. In Germany, most people wait for the green light before crossing the road. This is a very German thing to do. And this is actually something my mum pointed out. She actually mentioned it in the video that we made together, that she was just so impressed by all the little school children waiting for the green light before crossing the road, even if there were no cars coming. As I've talked about, a lot of German kids, they are given the responsibility to walk to school on their own, and they are very educated about road safety. They know what to do, what not to do, and they will always follow the rules, you know, and I think that is so great, and it's a wonderful thing. And I think one of the reasons why most Germans, they will stop and wait for the green light is to be a good role model for the children. I really believe that that is the reason. You're going to get in trouble in Germany if you don't wait for the green light at the crossing. Not only is it annoying for the drivers, but it's also setting a bad example for the children. And a German person will have no problem telling you off if you do not follow the rules. They will give you either a dirty look, or they will just straight up say you need to wait. I got in trouble years ago for not waiting for the green light, and since that day I have never done it again. I always follow the rules, and it's definitely a habit I have developed since living in Germany, and I don't think it's such a bad habit. Okay guys, so last but not least, a German habit that I have most definitely adopted is coffee and cake. I love to go out for coffee and cake in the afternoon. This is a German tradition. I love to go to friends' places for coffee and cake. I love to invite friends to my place for coffee and cake. And I love going to little bakeries and cafes for coffee and cake in Germany. It's just such a German thing to do, and I love it. In Germany, there are quite a lot of what we would call coffee shops. So it's just places you will go that basically only serve kind of bread, cakes and coffee, and maybe tea and other drinks, but it's mostly for cake and coffee. And a lot of people will go in the afternoon and they will just have a cake and coffee with friends and just sit and chat, and it's just something Germans really like to do. In New Zealand, we don't really have this tradition. We love our coffee. New Zealand has fantastic coffee, but the cake and the coffee together, it's not really a thing so much in New Zealand, so you wouldn't go out really specifically for coffee and cake. And in Germany, it's just a normal thing to do. Sometimes if we're just hanging around the house, we're not really up to much, maybe on a Sunday afternoon, Rob will be like, oh, what do you want to do? And I'll be like, oh, let's go for coffee and cake. He's like, okay. So we all go to, you know, a coffee shop. The kids might have a little hot chocolate, I'll have a cappuccino, and a lot of you will know I always talk about the fact that I can't eat gluten. Well, some German coffee shops, they have gluten-free cake, not all of them, but if they don't, I will get a big slice of cake and I will slice off the top, because a lot of the German cakes, they have maybe like a gelatine with fruit or like cream, and I'll just eat that part and give Rob the rest of it. I know that's kind of stupid, but I just love the whole ritual of coffee and cake. Like, even if I can't eat the whole cake, I like the ritual of it and I think it's really fun. So anyway guys, that is all I've got for this video today. If you are also an expat living in Germany, I would love to hear some of the German habits that you have picked up since living here, good or feel bad, I don't care, I just want to hear them all. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to subscribe to my channel, join this little community. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!